this video we are playing Find the Hats. Thank you so much for choosing my video. If you do find it helpful, if you can leave it a like, drop me a comment and of course hit that subscribe button to help support my channel. So let's start off in the forest. So as you can see, we just need to go around and collect the hats. So I've already noticed, unfortunately this is not a badge game. I always recommend to put it on just because it means the players can take something away from the game apart from the experience and the fun. So we've just seen there is a group join one. I'm not going to collect that one, but obviously you can go ahead and join the group to get that one. When anything's on a slant like that, obviously you know there's going to be something there. I would have hoped for the houses to be a bit more furnished. It may have just helped to have kind of disguised where that one may have been, and also just gives it that polished feel. The map's alright. I wouldn't necessarily say forest, but obviously it's green. I'm not the biggest fan of base plate, I always say that. It's not my most favourite texture pack. Although I will say it does hide the green ones quite well, because obviously the base plate texture just kind of mimics grass in some of these green ones. You can equip them as well, so obviously if you want to flex your favourite hat or just have the joy of wearing them, obviously you can wear them whilst you're in the game. I haven't tried them on myself. Usually my hair sticks through and they look a bit weird, so I don't bother with hats. So we found a legendary green laurel crown. Again, we can walk through the bushes, so I'm already thinking, oh, is there going to be one inside one of them? We have the animal hoodie. My daughter would love that because it's animal ears. Although she would prefer it if it was pink. Oh, and the bunny ears she'd like as well. So you do get badges for the number of hats, just not the individual hats. The progress bar is quite nice. It's nice to know how many is in this biome and how many I have found. Although sometimes you feel like you've walked over every inch of a map and then you see that you're missing some and it's like, where on earth could they be? And we have a visor. So here on top of the tree is the key for the house that is locked. And again, there's just no furniture, but we do find green Queen of the Night. That does remind me of Bodyguard, Whitney Houston, because she did a whole song called Queen of the Night for that film. This game isn't difficult. Obviously some are more challenging than others, so it is accessible to younger players of Roblox. I would say this is sort of a nice pass the time game if you are a fan of find the games or scavenger hunts. The ones I prefer, obviously the ones that do blend into the background, the ones that are a little bit more tricky to find. And I still would advocate for the zoomed out view, but because some of these items are quite small or quite delicate looking, you know, you could easily miss them, so just be careful if you are using that zoom. See, I did manage to spot the leafy antlers, but you could have missed them quite easily. Well, you're not going to miss them because I'm showing you where all the objects are, but I did. So this is where you think, oh, well, there's one up there, so how am I going to get up there? And this slightly lightly coloured area is actually a teleport, so you could have made that even harder and just blended it into the rock. I don't think I would have figured that out. I'm still really surprised there's not one in a bush, like maybe something to add in, maybe a few more veiled entrances. Obviously we had one to behind the waterfall, but again you've got a lot of kind of block work around the outside of the map. You could do a little tunnel in or a tunnel down. So we are on the last few for this area. Obviously one of them is going to be taken up by the group join. Again, zoomed out view. This is your friend. Hello. There is the kind of moai head that we saw on somebody at spawn. And one on top of the tree. So now we've got our route over. Again, I like that the routes are kind of blended into the map. It's not an obby over. You could hang some off the back of the map. It might be a bit challenging as well. See, there's a lovely little placement for one right there. So this is why I'd say use the map that you've built. You've got another gap there that you could use. And to be honest, I can't believe that I missed this. So right by the tree, I must have sort of just looked at the coil and not really looked at it, but that is the tiger one. Moving around now to the next biome of snow. So the developer of Find the Hammers was on and asking me to do a new video. I will do a new part. I'm so sorry it's taken me so long. There's just so many games. I'm limited on time before the wedding, so I'm desperately trying to get stuff done. So I will do the next part in Find the Hammers, so please bear with. Again, snow, it's basic. Again, base plates. It's fine, it's simple, but it works for the game. It matches the forest. It might be nice just to sort of fill it out a little bit more, even if it's sort of with the snow little kind of peaks or whatever you want to call them, hills, just so it fills it out, some rocks. You would still have sort of bushes and things that would stick up out of the snow. It might just hide some of these ones a bit better. So I like how some of these are themed. Maybe the cowboy would have suited sort of desert, Wild West a bit better, but I do like that the majority are themed, either by colour or by the actual kind of style of them. So obviously we had snowman visor. And some of these just blend in so well because obviously the white background with the white hat. Again, I would still recommend putting some in the bushes to hide them. Oh, you could have had a full-on circus area with all the clown hats and stuff. See, those are the ones that can blend in so well, like the dainty crowns that you can't quite see if you're on that zoomed out view. So again, the cabin's not furnished, so again, put some furniture in there, finish it off, give it that sort of polished look. But what I do like is that we do have a little bit of a quest. So like the forest, which we had to find the key, this time we are actually digging up the ice to go ahead and get the hat. So I really like this interaction. It shows a bit more of a difference and potential for the game, so keep adding stuff like this in. I wish digging in real life was that easy. You just kind of like smack it once and then the dirt just disappears. You watch, I'm going to dig up this entire place and it's going to be the very last square. I don't know if the square remains the same, but that is the one that you need to dig there in sort of the middle. I would love to be able to have a pair of sort of funky headphones like the over-ear ones, but I find, and I don't know if anyone else has got multiple piercings like me, but because I've got so many piercings in my ear, they actually hurt. So you can see that there is actually a hat over here on the ledge. There's actually another hat on the outer wall as well, which is why I was trying to get there and jump. And again, those two show real potential for this game as well, because it's actually a teleport that's hidden. So that definitely brings an upped challenge element, which I really liked. Once I figured out how to get up there, of course. I was thinking potentially, because it came up with the coil purchase, do you need a coil? Is it one that they're sort of forcing your hand to purchase? Now I really don't like that, and I don't because I don't play with Robux, I never get them if you need a coil or you need something to get there, but it's not, thankfully. It's just a very well hidden teleport. I suppose it's quite clever using the hats of the Roblox stuff because that's never going to end. Like, they're always going to design new hats, make new hats, so your index can just keep on expanding, can't it? Whereas I think some of the ones that base it on a show or characters, there's only a finite amount of characters to a show or a movie. That tiara was so small and well hidden because how dainty and thin it is. It just blends so well into the background. So you can see here, we're not going to be able to jump around that block. I did think about it. I did think about walking around the outside to get to that one that we needed to. Of course, you've got the snowman hat on the snowman. I love how that is blended in. That is much better. And this is the sort of point that you get to where you think, oh, well, I've sort of been around the map a bit and I'm still missing some. See, there's the horns there. Again, they could use the outer edge of the perimeter a bit more in this biome. Hang some off the back. You can get up there in certain areas. How well did that one blend in, that snowflake cap? I must have walked past that quite a few times already. But with the white and the white, it literally just blends in so well. It sort of looked like a snowball. That's what I thought it was. And then we've just clocked the horns on the tree. See, again, like you could place one sort of behind the back there because it's not visible from the map unless you're up. That's the Ice Walker. Got a very kind of Game of Thrones feeling to that one. So as I said, found this teleport completely by accident, but I'm so glad that I did. So it's just that bush there behind the cabin. And that is the hooded cloak. And the blue ice horns. On to the next area, which is the town. So this is the other area, and for both snow and the kind of town you need to buy your way into it, so be careful if you are going to the shop buying trails and stuff because you do need your coins. And this is going to be a lot of methodical searching because there are a lot of houses and a lot of buildings to search. The houses are all sort of the same layout, which, okay, it's like a template, you can copy and paste, but it might be nice for some of them to be a bit changed up, a bit different. They're all very trusting, aren't they? Because nobody has a front door. But then again, I suppose if you've all got a coffee mug, a pencil, a notebook, a sofa and a bed, like what else more do you need? Again, there's opportunities to put some sort of behind the buildings. So there's plenty of room in this area again to put some more for an update in. And a very fancy duck. And then we just have duck. The good old propeller hat. One sort of letdown is that I didn't really feel like a toy shop inside. I know things come in boxes, but you know, you do have stuff that you could have put on the shelf. I have seen it in multiple games. Same with the food and stuff. Into the shop, so again you can't really tell the difference from the toy store, so I don't know which one's the supermarket inside and which one's sort of the toy store, apart from the hats. So obviously a kid would be in a toy shop, which is why the propeller's there, and obviously the burger hat is in here. I think you can get base plate food, so it may have been an option to have put that on the shelf instead. Could have done space for the astronaut helmet and other stuff like space related hats to go in. I'm sure there's a load of alien ones. Oh, that's like my daughter's winter hat, that is. She has a unicorn beanie just like that, except it's fluffy. Duck is becoming a bit of a theme here. We've had duck, fancy duck, and now duck cap. Bringing in the subway station is nice. Although, I don't think you need a subway to travel around a map this small. But it does break up the monotony of those houses, I'm not gonna lie. Seeing the coffee cup, the pen, the pencil, the notebook and the bed in sort of the exact same places every single time gets a little bit boring. Who wears a brain as a hat? I want to sort of see that one equipped. I don't know why. I think I'd have to take my hair off though. Is it for like zombie-esque? I don't know. We have pink eye. Oh dear, somebody's got some poo particles in their eye. I would definitely not be wearing a hat that was pink eye. Again, that room, I don't know if it's sort of like a storeroom, secret agent area. They could have done a little bit of a theme there so you knew what that room was. And then finally in the subway, where else is a rat going to be? And there we go. I still have PTSD from that rat from Find the Cheese Escape one. You know, we have to go around the maze. Again, may have been nice to have had some more police related hats, or I don't know, a jail for like the prisoner hats or something. I mean, the military hat lends itself to sort of an army base for a map. I'm sure there's more army or military related hats in that index that you could buy or wear. We have nurses' hats. It's funny, everyone associates that hat with nurses, yet in my entire life I don't think I've ever seen an actual nurse wearing one. See, look, you've got some lovely little places around the sides of the buildings to stick some. I'm surprised they haven't. Ah, I heart mom sign. Oh, I hope my kids wear that hat for me. And the paper hat. Wow, if that collect hadn't come up, I probably would have walked past those sunglasses on that sofa. Again, my daughter would love those because they would look a lot like Afmal headphones. That's right, I am not my daughter's favourite YouTuber, but it's absolutely fine. So you could fit in some of these sort of bigger blank areas, maybe with a playground, picnic area, just so you could kind of, again, utilise that to put more hats in and kind of give it a bit of a disguise. We have a gentleman cap. Sleeping cap. I love the roast chicken hat. That would have to be one that I would break out on sort of Christmas to wear. We have the violet ribbons. I don't know whether it would actually be more fun to have people wearing the hats. So if you actually had people milling around, and obviously, you know, not all of the hats worked. I don't know whether that'd be a fun game rather than the hats just being dotted round. That's not seriously a hat, is it? A pizza box. You go around with a pizza box on your head. So for the clock tower, you can see that we need to break open the front, and we have the clock phones, but then we also need to find a truss. So again, this shows a lovely bit of potential for the game. I like them bringing in that kind of elements, the quest elements, to go off and find stuff. So obviously we need the truss to get to the one at the top. Again, you could have interacted with the map. You know, I don't know if there is a carrot hat, and so you had to dig up the carrot to obviously get the carrot hat. See, again, like if you had the kind of stylized stuff on like people or animals, you could have had a cat, and you had to find the right cat with the ears. So after a bit of searching around the map, I spotted the truss behind the post office. So again, just bringing that in, and then we can go back to the clock. So yeah, really enjoyed those kind of side quests to this game. Keep adding them in for any updates. Then just by the entrance, I saw that you could talk to this character but didn't bother. And again, this is actually a quest. Oh, I don't normally talk to the NPCs because obviously usually it's just like a boring conversation, but I actually needed to. So we need to go ahead and find a yellow flower. So again, I like the fact that they have brought this element in. I'm just a bit gutted because every house in this area has flowers outside. At least they picked yellow, so it should be relatively easy to spot against all the other colours. And there we go, it's also glowing, which helps. They're very naughty of me to go and pick someone flowers. You should leave other people's stuff alone. I'm a thief. But there we go, and we can get the crown. So another one on the roof line there. So going up the post office awning. And that is the disco ball. And there we have it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.